Call this General Services Committee meeting together at August 13th, 2018 at 12 noon. We've got 3 items on the agenda. First item is approval of a contract with Tyree Riggs for bike rack public art at the Coeur d'Alene Public Library. Troy Tymason, go ahead, buddy.
Good morning, council members. I bring forward to you a recommendation from the Arts Commission for the Viking Ship bike rack. This was a second call for artists. It would go in the lower level of the city library, very near where the children's library is located in those doors. It's not scheduled to be completed until next spring, where we would then install it. This was one of 4 artists that made submissions on the second go-around. It was unanimous from the subcommittee to bring this forward. Tyree, with your permission, will go forward to build it. It is at a cost not to exceed $9,000. The variable in this is the cost of the steel, as it's been jumping all over on its costs. Funding for this will come from the Arts Fund out of the Lake District, which Ignite contributes to the program at 2% of their gross for the year. So again, a fun project. The picture is up there of what the artist submitted, and I would answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions?
No, other than just I'm recalled when I saw this, it's nice. But you know, Kiki's comment at the last council meeting regarding the abundance of art we're having, especially bike racks around the library. And I assume the Arts Commission is going to do something about that, so they're probably aware of it. I mean, it's cool, but we have other art that's, I mean, I just saw the stuff upstairs that came in recently, the bike rack stuff, so there are other parts of the city.
There are. It would have to be in the Lake District, but that is true, yep.
Yeah, thanks. It's cool, though. Vikings, yeah.
Need a motion.
I'll make a motion that council approve the contract with Tyree Riggs for the bike rack public art at the Coeur d'Alene Public Library.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thanks, Troy. Item number 2, approval of a consulting contract with James Washko in the fire department. Kenny Gabriel.
Thank you.
Fire chief.
And if I may sidebar for a second, Councilman Gookin, you are wearing Timberwolf teal today, so thank you for that. Good afternoon. After many, many years of service with the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department, close to 19 years, Deputy Chief James Washko is going to call it a career. He was fire chief in charge of support services for 15 years, and he's to a point in his life to where he's going to go off to the next adventure. And one of the things that I've always tried to do is, one of the biggest gaps we have in the fire service and public safety as a whole is when we lose all that experience, and when they walk out the door, it's gone. I think the city had great forethought back in the day to saying, why don't we try to capture some of that experience? Why don't we try to work with them, and let's have them around for a contract, the consulting contract, which you have in front of you. And I've always been a big advocate of that. What we're asking for this afternoon is your approval of that. Jim he is behind it 100%. He absolutely wants to be part of the department going forward. We'll be filling his spot in a handful of months after we repay that amount of money, and we'll go from there. But the next person in that job will be, I think it'll be it's very good for them to know that they have the ability to call and get that information specific to the rescue task force, specific to the technical rescue team, specific to the grants. There's a lot of that stuff that's hanging out there right now that if we don't finish it properly, we could lose some money as a city too. So having that there is very positive. I would ask that you support this.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes, I have a question for the chief.
Okay.
Thank you, Ron. So what is the measurement of putting in the hours? How do you keep track of that?
So what we're gonna do is, we've thought about that, is Katie, who does all of the hours for the department anyway, she's developing a timesheet, lack of a better word. So anytime we call him or anytime he comes in, she will be the one that is going to keep track of all that. So lack of a better word, a time card is what we're gonna
Okay.
try to do.
So you will be monitoring that?
Absolutely will,
And
yes,
the
sir.
way I think I read the contract is, so he could theoretically not work a month, say you don't need him, and he still gets paid. But if he works the next month and say puts in all his time,
He's still there.
he's still there, but then he gets forwarded the whole amount since he's put in all the time that he was supposed to put in.
That is correct,
So,
yes,
and
sir.
that would work for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Amy, any questions?
No, Dan just asked
Okay.
mine, so I'm good.
Need a motion?
I'd move that council approve the consulting contract with James Washco.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Washco.
Item number 3, authorization to apply for and accept, if awarded, fiscal year 2018 traffic enforcement equipment grant agreement. Eric Hollenbeck. Eric,
Good afternoon. We're looking to see if we can get approval to apply for and accept the grant for the purposes of purchasing hardware that will allow us to run the statewide e-ticketing program. So we previously had barcode readers for driver's licenses. This barcode reader isn't compatible with the new software. So the grant will allow us to buy the new hardware that is compatible with the new software. And we're looking to have a 25% match from the city. It'll be a total cost of $11,800, and our cost will be just under $3,000, $2,980.
The beauty of this system is the fact that it saves time. Instead of officers writing down or typing information, it saves the time. And this is a statewide program that's been built by law enforcement in southern Idaho. So we can discontinue our contract with our current vendor and save the maintenance costs each year. It's about $1,500 a year. Our current hardware is breaking at a pretty high rate, so we would have to replace it anyway. So this will be compatible with the court system, our records management system, and it just creates an efficiency that's really important for us.
okay, any questions?
So just to clarify, you would need to purchase this regardless, and this is an opportunity to have all but 25%
Correct.
covered. Okay.
So you already have these readers in the cars, right? I mean, because I've seen them when I do a ride-along,
Right.
the swipe, for a better word.
Sure.
And this is, see, I gotta tell you, as a techie guy, that they could write an interface that would interface to the old ones. I mean, seriously, it's a barcode. It just translates the bars to a number. And they could
And
write an interface
we're
for that
being-
software.
Right, but ITD controlling the software, they're saying that they will only support the new hardware. So this is kind of
It's
like
ITD.
Yes.
Oh, well, you didn't say ITD. Now I completely understand why
This
why there's
unit is
difficulty.
very much like a single pair of pliers, and this is more of like a Swiss Army knife. We can program this to do anything that we need to, so
Okie dokie.
there's a lot of advantages to using the new hardware.
All right. No, I didn't catch ITD. Oh, yeah, you just didn't write it down as ITD. So Idaho Transportation Department would be the same thing. Yeah, I love those guys. So the software is completely free.
Software is free.
Include
They'll do the
updates, right? Yeah.
They'll do the upgrades. It's fully compliant with the statewide court system upgrade
Odyssey,
that they've been stumbling through over the last several months.
yes. Very good.
You need a motion.
I'll make a motion that council authorize the police department to apply for and accept, if awarded, the fiscal year 2018 traffic enforcement equipment grant agreement.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, is there anything else
Yes, we have an item on the back page.
on the back page?
Yeah, they did that for us. It's
Kootenai County.
a new communications thing. Apparently Motorola wants to sell us more radios, so.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
So, I don't know if you've had a chance to read this. In July,
Introduce yourself.
excuse me, I'm sorry, Luke Pichette with Fire Department.
Thank you.
This is my first time being at a staff meeting,
Very good.
or a general service meeting. So, in July, KCSO and Coeur d'Alene PD encrypted several channels, and since then, we haven't had the ability to communicate via radios on those channels. So we're asking your permission to sign into an agreement with the Kootenai County Fire Chiefs, multiple agencies, to allow us to enter into those channels for communication for obvious reasons, safety and efficiency during emergency calls. It's zero cost. It's just allowing us to enter into that agreement.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, can you start over just a bit? You
Sure.
haven't been able to get into these channels, the
So
fire
there's-
department specifically?
There's certain channels that are encrypted.
Okay.
And they encrypted them so that suspects couldn't listen into radio traffic prior to, PD intervening in whatever situation there is. And since then, no, we have not been able to communicate via radios, which isn't done all that often, but RTF would be a great example. If we had a rescue task force, something like that, we wouldn't be able to communicate via radios on those channels.
So they did this and they didn't tell you?
Well,
No, you don't have to answer that.
they did.
That's what it sounds like.
There was a lot of communication, but, it's a process, so.
Well, I appreciate that we're on board now that we know that there's an issue. I know when I tried to rob a bank, I hate it when it's scrambled. So, when we were given a presentation last council meeting about the new drones that are coming in, and they mentioned that it's going on the PS LTE network, is that gonna be something else that we need to deal with?
That I
Down the
don't have
road?
any.
Yeah, eventually, okay. But this is not that. This is basically our existing equipment, and we just need to know the secret code so that so
Exactly.
you guys can listen.
Exactly,
Okay. And in order to do that, we have to sign this agreement
exactly.
with the sheriffs. Okay.
Yep, you're on
Sounds
board
like a
100%.
plan. I'm good.
Okay. Need a motion?
Yeah, I would make a motion that council approve the agreement with the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office for encrypted channel communications during emergencies.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you, thank you very much.
Okay, now anything else? City Attorney Mike Gridley, you have anything? I have nothing. Police Chief, do you have anything? No, sir, thank you. Okay, we're adjourned.